Hey y'all. So we are going to be taking a look at Litha and Lammas season, July and August ahead. So with Litha, right, we're coming out of summer solstice on June 21st, and we are sitting within the watery well of our own emotional cores during this time. This is very much about self-reflection. Right? If you think about it, in the Northern Hemisphere, we are in a time of Litha, which is very watery and really sitting with our emotions. But then at our counterpoint in the Wheel of the Year, those in the Southern Hemisphere are at the time of Yule, aka Christmas time, which is also a time of reflection, just through a different lens. So no matter where you are in the world, whether it's Northern Hemisphere, Southern Hemisphere, Litha is very much about really sitting with how you feel from a place of reflection and non-resistance, being willing to sit with whatever arises from a place of stillness. It's really about the emotions, the emotional core, without necessarily taking any steps or trying to figure out how to fix anything or alter anything or how to shift one emotion from, one thing to another. It's really just about acceptance. Acceptance of the emotions as they currently are and really sitting with those. Sometimes doing so can lead to questions, right? Not necessarily questions that lead to answers either. Sometimes it's just sitting with our emotions and having questions, which then spawn other questions, which then spawn other questions. But it's a really beautiful opportunity to really live in those questions and consider the aspects within us that are emotionally charged from a place of curiosity and non-judgment. So that's July. Then we move into Lammas in August, which is a time of getting ready to reap that harvest, honey, for Mabon that comes in September, right? It's August. We're at the height of the summer season here in the Northern Hemisphere. It's very warm. We're kind of, winding down the end of summer. And a way it becomes more intense heat-wise, but we're kind of, taking a look out to autumn going, okay, well, the harvest is coming, so let's just slow our roll a bit and just really be grateful for what we have, where we've been, our experiences up until this point, until we go into the autumnal equinox in the following month, which begins our wind down towards the end of the year, right? And remember, this is around the time where we're getting ready and gearing up for the days to begin to shorten in length in a really noticeable way. So it's interesting around that time of equinox and going into the autumn time that in August, it's sort of like one last abundant hurrah, where we're going, yes, like this is wonderful. This is where there's plenty of fruit, there's plenty of veg, there's plenty of food. Everything is in abundance. We even have an abundance of time. This is usually when we have time from work off. School is usually not in session. It's a time where we can really sit down and really appreciate taking things a little bit more slowly and also, sharing that joy, sharing the sun, being at, its height in the sky and giving us warmth from a place of excitement and joy. Because it's an exciting point as well, because when we are just before the autumnal equinox, we are coming up to the harvest and the holiday season and going back to school and all of those things. It's an exciting time because that's also, a time of year where we have a lot of holidays and there's an aspect of like, okay, it's like a fresh new start within a fresh new start, right? We're ending the summer, we're going back to work or back to school, and then we're going in through a time which leads to Samhain, and if you're in America, Thanksgiving, and Yule/Christmas, and New Year's resolutions, and the New Year, and all of these things. So it's kind of like let's just relax and really enjoy being where we are as much as we possibly can before the rest of the year unfolds, and we're back into the groove of a lot going on. So July and August, this is really such a beautiful, very special time period where we are not just asked, but encouraged to really move a little bit more slowly and be exactly where we are from a place of pleasure, right? in the Southern Hemisphere, with that Yule energy, we're asked to move more slowly, but from a place of introspection, right? But this is really about pleasure, really enjoying being outside, feeling the heat, enjoying the downtime, and enjoying the time before things really rev up and it feels like a bit of a speeding train into the end of the year, and then we're into a whole new year. So it's kind of like, okay, I'm really going to enjoy this time because I know what's coming. There's a lot to be excited for, a lot of holidays coming up, but the food is plentiful right now. The harvest is going to be coming in, and I really can take this time to just enjoy, sit with my emotions as they are from a place of curiosity and non-judgment, and just soak in the sun and the energy and the stillness. It's kind of those, you know, lazy, languid days of summer energy around July and August. So it's such a treat. It's such a beautiful time period to be within. And with that being said, I'm wishing you all such a beautiful Litha and Lammas. I really love doing this series, relatively new series, where we're looking at 2 months ahead within the context of the wheel of the year, because if we can be aware of what nature is doing, the cycles of nature within a wheel of the year context, then that empowers us to really work with that given energy and get more out of it. As a result, just like they did, you know, pre-industrial revolution, when we align ourselves to nature's cycles, we have a more fully embodied and enriched and empowered experience. And I'm really excited to keep sharing that with you guys. So with that being said, let's go ahead and take a look at this Litha and Lammas. Hey Capricorns, let's go ahead and take a look at what your animal energy is for this upcoming Litha into Lammas July-August season. But before I do, let's talk about your meditation. Short, sweet, and oh so mysterious. Just like you, Capricorns. So I saw the image of the Phantom from the Phantom of the Opera, and it was the song The Music of the Night, and I saw him like, yeah, singing it. I saw the music notes. Then I saw a mouse come up and sort of sit on his shoulder and then climb on top of his head. And I felt like the lyrics that were really standing out to me was "Let the memories live again." Really, really interesting. Let's dive right into it and see what comes of that. Very, very interesting. I will say mouse medicine is very much about perspective and how you see things. Capricorn, you got yourself, you got the wolf. Beautiful. Mouse medicine is about perspective. It's about how you see things. Mice have the ability to see things and move in and out of places undetected if desired, more so than any other animal. That is partially why, if you ever do a shamanic journey, mouse is perfect companion to have with you for that, because they are able to move in and out of places easily and adeptly. So a little bit of FYI. So we have the wolf here. So if you've been following me for any time at all, or if you haven't, I'm about to let you know that I associate each zodiac sign with a particular animal. For y'all, it's the wolf, because you guys have within the month of January, which is when your, you know, birth month, you start in late December, obviously, but then you go into January, and within the month of January is the wolf moon. So I always associate you with the wolf. So I like that you're coming up in your own reading in this way. It's a very powerful statement for that to happen. Earth energy, of course, as you are earth signs, it's always very auspicious when you get an animal who's of your like element. It's always a good thing. This is the equivalent of, energetically speaking, of the Hierophant, Taurus energy in the Tarot, which says that everything is exactly as it's meant to be and will continue to be exactly as it's meant to be. So you don't need to worry. Like, everything is sorted, everything is in alignment. Now, it doesn't mean it's all hunky-dory and life is all roses and everything is easy. It just means that it's meant to be this way, which, if you're anything like me, you will find of great comfort. Wolf medicine is also about instinct, pack mentality versus solitary ventures, which is fascinating considering that we were looking at the Phantom of the Opera, who was, you know, I don't know, the epitome of a solitary existence. I mean, until, you know, Christine came along, but it's another story. It's interesting with this energy, with the wolf and following your instinct, and that Capricorn Taurus tie as well. It feels very powerful and very absolute. But also, I'm really drawn to the wolf's eyes here. You know, they can see really well in the nighttime, right? So it's interesting with that nocturnal Phantom of the Opera, music of the night aspect of this, and the fact that they're associated with moons, and then the wolf moon, and then the music of the night. It's interesting. But when is it not? Let's see what's going on. Never gets old, y'all. It never gets old. Oh. In crescent moon, you say? In crescent moon. We were just talking about the moon. I love it. So in crescent moon, this is really beautiful. This speaks of you doing work that you are meant to be doing and excelling at it. This is like, yes, you're doing exactly what you're meant to be doing. Like, and this doesn't have to be work that you get paid for. Like, he's definitely like works the ship docks as a fisherman by day, but at night he creates these beautiful bust figures that will go on, you know, and become so popular after he's, you know, long gone. Like, it's that vibe. Not that that's saying to take that literally, but that's the energy. He doesn't get paid to do this. He would do this, you know, he has to, because it comes from his soul, because he's called to do this kind of work. So I like that this is coming up for you in this context. You know, I'm also drawing it back to this music of the night, and then we're looking at the nighttime here. There's something to do when we think about the nighttime and the moon that represents the unconscious, the unknown, you know, psychic ability, you know, represents the aspects of ourself that are feminine, so receiving, right? I feel like there is something coming through here for you around you're going to be awakening to an aspect of your path that is aligned with your soul purpose in relation to the work that you are here to do that is going to leave your part of the earth better than how you found it. This is his living legacy. You know what I mean? And I feel like that's what we're looking at, your living legacy. It's really interesting with the Phantom of the Opera as well. Why am I hearing dreams deferred? There's something about this going on where it's like, can you like take this thing that you feel your soul is calling you to do and just either commit to it in a more fully realized way, or give some life to it, or fall back in love with it, or something to do with that during this time. One of Scrolls on track. What have we literally been saying this entire time? That you're exactly where you're meant to be, and that everything's exactly as it's meant to be. And then you get on track. It's so good. I love it. What do these say? Northbound, westbound, eastbound train. You know, I do feel like it is a bit of a fork in the road moment during this time period for you. I have shivers. You know, I do feel like there's something, you know, coming forward that says, like, we all have choices. And at the end of the day, it's really about how you want to spend the time that you have here, what legacy you want to leave behind. And if you're here to enjoy life, how's that going? Right? You know, I think Freud, I think it was Sigmund Freud, who said that all we need in life to be happy is work and love. Why do I feel like that's the whole point of your reading? But on track. This is saying you're, you know, in alignment. You're exactly where you're going. But it's, this person is looking at the sign going, should I switch trains? Should I wait for the next one? Should I pop into the train station for a quick cortado and then catch the next train? There's something about this that's just going, you know, follow the lead here. What's this going on? Fantastique. Archangel Michael, number 9. You know, this is really beautiful because Archangel Michael is this emblem of strength, compassion, fortitude, protection. You know, him with these little children here, it's kind of an image or hearkening to the image of the Strength Key in the Tarot, which is the image of that lady with her hands on the mouth of a lion, right? So there's something about that. And I'm getting with this, that Brene Brown quote that I always think of when I see an image like this. which is something strong being soft, is that true strength is vulnerability. And there's something about that. But this Archangel Michael, you know, he is the, you know, patron saint and protector of, you know, police people, fire people, you know, emergency workers, anyone who's in a line of work that is dangerous or is high risk. So it's interesting that he's coming up in this way as well. I just have to say this. Wasn't half the Phantom's face like burned off or something? And then we have like this fiery heart in the middle. Is there something that you're wanting to take a chance on, or that you want to more fully commit to or try? You know, Michael is a wonderful transmuter of fear. He is the great fear transmuter. Like if you are ever afraid, if you are ever, you know, fearful in whatever way, shape, or form, calling on Archangel Michael energy to be with you, I'm telling you from personal experience, it surefire works. It really, really does. He's such a strong, comforting, you know, fatherly energy. It's really beautiful here. I'm really drawn to this little girl kind of looking out. I kind of feel like this is a baby Christine from a Phantom of the Opera. I feel like you're being called to a path that may either seem incredulous, outlandish, require you to change your life or your family in some way, or be seen by others to be kind of like a silly move. Like someone who decides to, you know, not be a lawyer anymore and become like a, you know, street performance artist, like juggling, you know, on corners in the West Village of New York, like that kind of thing. But the thing is, it brings them so much joy that it's worth more than, you know, that esteemed, you know, partner position at the firm. There's something about your path here, something that I feel like you know what it is. This doesn't feel like this is news. I feel like you know what this is and you're being called to this, but it's going to require you to be brave or strong or be firm in your knowing or dedication of this. And this is this whole thing here. You know what it is. I feel like the wolf is looking at you like, you know what it is. You're really being asked to kind of really fully commit to it. Let's get some advice. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. It's too good. Page of Wands. Do you know that the Page of Wands is about courage? Have courage. Have courage, Lion. Have courage. Page of Wands, this is about courage, boldness, and embarking on new paths. It's that fire energy of the Wands, which is about work that you love to do. I'm obsessed. You know, there's also like these firelit lamps here as well. And I feel like this is, you know, hearkening to this Page of Wands energy. This is so, the advice here, when you get Page of Wands as your advice, it's have courage and embark down the road that really excites you, about which you are passionate. That's it. And it's related to work that you love to do. That's what this time period is for you, Capricorn. You are being really, really called to do this and to give it your all and commit to it in the same way that you would a relationship that's really important to you. Right? It's interesting because this guy is carving this, you know, bust of a woman, right? It kind of gives me Pygmalion vibes, right? But it's sort of that energy of like, you know, for the time that I'm working on this, this is my most intimate relationship. This is, you know, I'm going to treat this and take this time and dedication and effort and all of these things and put it into this work and this art that will have lasting effects. And anyone who looks upon it, you know, once it's finished, right, is going to have a piece of the time and love and feel the love that I put into this, right? It's living art because of that, because of the artist that imbued it with its magic and energy and love, right? There's many a fairy tale that has that theme in it. It's like you gave it so much love that it became real. Pygmalion, right? It's interesting. Right. Let's go ahead and get an oracle for you. I'm feeling like the Ancestors Oracle. Let's do it. You have one life to live, you know? Well, not really, but you have one life to live as you. Wow. That's something else. Okay. first of all, we have another moon here. And then we have kind of like an Artemis figure here on a horse. Hunter, tracking. Is this not someone literally like taking the bow back and like getting ready to aim and fire and hit their target? This is, look, it's literally under a moon, putting the time, effort, and focus in and letting go. You know, this hunter tracking aspect really speaks to that archetype energy of really focusing and committing to something and then seeing it through to the very end, right? If you think about it, a hunter would, you know, track its prey, whether it's an animal or a human, really track its prey and then not really give up until it was, you know, found or, you know, see to its completion. It's not like, oh, I don't really feel like following that lead. Oh, I don't really feel like following through with that. Like, this is really, really asking you to give whatever this is for you, this road, this call of passion, this point of purpose, the same kind of dedication, love, fire, effort, persistent effort that you would a relationship that you really cared about, or, you know, like your next meal depended on it. What's that saying? I don't know if it was Beyonce or I can't remember who said it originally, but there's this like funny line about like, you know, dance like the rent is due, like move like the rent is due, like that kind of thing. And that's what this feels like go about this like the rent is due. Is what this feels like, Capricorn. I feel like as Capricorns, as your inherent, you know, signature, you are so able to vibe with this. You know what I mean? You're so able. It's like, oh, okay, I know how to hustle, but it's really about hustling in terms of, you know, what is going to make you happy? What is your lasting legacy? What are you here to do? I also feel like this is a special call and shout out to anyone who's a healer or anyone who's involved in work that has healing effects. Like even if you're, for example, like a comedian or an artist or a spiritual, you know, a healer worker, a mystic, whatever that is, or an actual like physician, whatever this is, like if what you do brings healing or you know, help to other people, that's a special call to you in particular. And it could even be an aspect of something that you do that provides healing or help or assistance to others. So it feels, sometimes it helps to bring things into a humanitarian context. And sometimes it's easier to follow through within that line of thinking, because then it's not so much about us. We really have a way of getting in our own way and really partaking in our own self-perceived limitations. And so looking at it that way, going, let's just like expand the vision here, right? And go, oh my God, the mouse, of course, the mouse with the Phantom of the Opera. Let's expand our vision here and look at this from a different perspective, right? And say, maybe I'm here to really leave my piece of the world better than how I found it. Why is my soul here? Why am I here? I mean, this is very deep questions. It's not exactly like brunch conversation, but you know that this is the stuff that matters, and it's within the collective sphere of where we're going. It's all the more important to really connect in. The days, the McCarthy-driven days, at least, you know, from an American perspective, I'm an American, obviously, those days of, but you can really widen that range, but the days of kind of like going along to get along, or just doing the work to make the money and there doesn't have to be any love in it, that kind of status quo is like, it cannot survive within the age of Aquarius. And what that's going to translate to is if you've been in that vibration where you're just going along to get along and you're doing work because it pays the bills and for no other reason and there's no love in it, the universe is going to really challenge you on that particular track and make it so that you have no choice but to really consider, like, what are you doing? Because guess what? Here's the tea and here's the news. You are actually here to live out your soul purpose and enjoy your life while at the same time doing the work that is aligned with your whole, you know, purpose of being here within the context of soul growth, because this is the school of life, right? So the ups and downs, the challenges, the hardships, the triumphs, that's all part of it. But you are here to do what you love to do and have abundance at the same time. It's just a matter of like, What is abundance to me, and what is more important to me? What are my priorities, right? You can have everything of a monetary value that society says, like, you have won at life. You are a success. But you really only won, and you're only really successful if you feel content, if you feel good, right? Something to think about that's going to be coming up for you over this season. But it feels like a strong call to port is the best way I can think to put it. It's like that beacon, that call to port is coming in for you and going, let's have courage and be brave. Ask yourself the following. If time and money were no object, what would I do? Would I keep doing the work that I'm doing? I've had all the money and the time in the world. Would I keep doing the work that I'm doing? Would I be in the relationship that I'm in? Okay? just a couple of things to think about during this season. But with that being said, Capricorn, you are well on your path. You're on track. And it's a really beautiful, significant time period for you. So I'm sending you so much love and many blessings. I so hope that this helped and resonated. If so, please do let me know in the comments below. I absolutely love reading your comments. Please like, share, and subscribe. I would so appreciate that. And with that being said, just thank you. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate every single one of you watching. And with that being said, most of all, and as always, just thank you for being you. And be well. Until next time.